Hello, my name is Chip Gibbons. I'm the Chief Information Security Officer at Thrive Networks. And in this Help Net security video, I'll be talking about the key differences between business continuity plan and a disaster recovery plan. In the past, these plans were used interchangeably, and in many cases, there was a reason that is because it was easy just to have one plan. But as attacks became more frequent and systems became more complex, we really needed to separate what a business continuity plan was and what a disaster recovery plan was. So when we start talking disaster recovery, we're very much talking about restoring systems and operating systems, data, servers, files, whatnot, to the original state that they were in. So this could be because of a fire, a cyber crime, natural disaster, etc. It could be any of those things, but we need to now restore this to a specific point in time. Now, a lot of times when we're talking about disaster recovery plans, we bring in recovery time objective, or they say RTO, and that is how long it takes to recover that data or those files or that server or whatnot to the original operating, original way it was set up. Now, there's also the recovery point objective, or the RPO, an amount of time, amount of data that acceptable loss. So if we say, okay, we're taking a backup every night, we could have a potential data loss of 24 hours if we lose that server right before the next backup. Now, recovery time objective could be, okay, we can restore that server from backup within 2 hours. And that could be a time window that is acceptable. So our recovery time objective could be 2 hours, and our recovery point objective could be up to 24 hours. So those numbers usually come into effect when we're talking about, the more critical the system, the lower we want both the recovery point objective and that recovery time objective. At some point, they wanted, some businesses want it to be almost instantaneous. And again, the lower the number, usually the higher the cost, because you're replicating systems to different, let's say, data centers. So you might, if you're worried about a natural disaster, hurricanes, or you're worried about earthquakes, you might replicate to a different area of the country or a different area of the world. And if you're doing that, that replication has a cost to it, and you need to have a system that is basically online and ready to accept data and can swap over to that system almost instantaneously. Now, when we're talking about these kind of services, there are places that have disaster recovery as a service, and they help you design those systems and help you implement those systems so you can have the downtime or whatnot that works for you as an organization. Now, that's disaster recovery. Now we have business continuity plan, or a BCP. So a business continuity plan is how a business will maintain operations during a technological malfunction or problem. In this case, let's say a server goes down. How do you maintain business operations while that system is down? If the system is not critical, it might not be much of a business problem, and you can continue on. But if you're, let's say, a retail business and your point of sale systems go down, it could be critical that those systems either get back up and running quickly, which is disaster recovery, but also what do you do in the meantime when those systems are down? Do you still have the old school credit card things that you can go back and forth and get the credit card number so you can still use that? That might be a part of your business continuity plan. And then the most obvious one that people used a couple of years ago was COVID. So when everybody started working from home, or some businesses decided we're not sending people back to the office, everybody works from home. That's when people started dusting off those business continuity plans and deciding, oh, okay, everybody needs a VPN, everybody needs this, everybody needs to have a laptop. If you weren't prepared for this and hadn't thought about this ahead of time, these were times where you're making plans on the fly. That can cause longer delays in having the plan come into fruition, and it makes the system and overall movement over to that plan a lot harder. So during COVID, businesses that were prepared to have workers work remotely and they had practice for this, it wasn't a big deal. But for businesses that were not prepared for this, or not had not thought about working from home, this was a big change, and took a number of months to get into practice and to get people comfortable with it. So now, many times, both the business continuity plan and the disaster recovery plan are used at the same time. So while the disaster recovery plan is being utilized to get a system up and running, or to get your overall server or whatever application back online, the business continuity plan is being utilized to get this system in the organization working correctly, so it all works together. So the system still is working. You're still, let's say, billing clients, but email might be down. Somebody's restoring email, but clients are still getting billed, and things are, communication is still happening. Now, you might be asking yourself at this time, how do you test for this? How do you prepare for this? Well, there's regular reviews. You should at least be doing an annual review of both the business continuity plan and the disaster recovery plan to make sure everybody, all stakeholders, understand what they should be doing. Upper management should understand this is in place, as well as business departments, so they understand what they need to do. If people haven't reviewed the plan, don't understand what they need to do for the plan, and they're learning the plan during an outage, that's not going to help, because then you find the flaws in the plan during the outage, and that's not the correct way to do it. The correct way to do it would be what they say, called many places, a tabletop exercise. You go through, let's say you plan for a cybersecurity incident, ransomware, for example. You lose a number of systems. You have people from those business departments that are there. What do they do? How do they continue business when these systems are down? And then you look over to the people who are managing those systems and ask them, how long is it going to take it to get up? How do they get it up? What are the plans in place? So you walk through all those steps with the people who would be doing them, so everybody understands how it's done, and then you can find the problems with those plans and assist in a room with people that it's not critical. They actually get it up at that time. You're not in an actual disaster, so you can work through the issues and then update the plan. So then when something does happen, it is a much smoother transition, and you're able to do it much easier. In the long run, this is going to bring peace of mind to you as an organization. It'll make it a lot easier when these disasters happen. It's a lot smoother. People know exactly what to do. There's no question, and it makes, honestly, business run a lot easier. I hope this answered any questions you might have on business continuity plans and disaster recovery plans, and always happy to share again in the future. Thank you.